Hey guys, Chris from the Ultimate Recycler. Welcome to part 2 of this current shed clean out. It's only the next day from when I finished filming part 1, but it'll probably be a while before you guys see it. I'll just show you what I'm up to. I haven't done very much as far as the cleanup goes, but it is rubbish night tonight in town. Actually, I think it's recycling. But either way, I want to make sure my bins are full at home. So I've come down here to grab some of the cardboard. I am taking some of the other rubbish back to the shop to process. I'll have a bare minimum going in my bins, but there will have to be a little bit go. And those white polystyrene boxes down here, the ones that have had the rats all through them, they're going to have to just be broken up and going into the bin. I can't do anything with those. They absolutely stink. If I get them in nice clean condition, sometimes I'll give them away. I do have plans for recycling or repurposing the polystyrene with a bit of a contraption I'm going to make out of e-waste, so that might be down the track a bit, but I have plans. What else has happened? That 70s era bookcase thingo, I put that on Facebook for free, and there's a guy coming to get that tomorrow morning, so that's great. The chest freezer unfortunately doesn't work. I plugged it in and left it going overnight. Didn't get cold at all, so I'm going to put that probably out the front of the shop for free. I did put it on Facebook for free. No one's actually messaged me about it yet. But they do make excellent pet food storage, like chaff for horses, bulk dog food, because they're basically mouse proof. So they do make really nice food hoppers. So hopefully someone can see some value and we don't have to take it out to the tip. If we did, it would go for recycling anyway. It'd probably end up in the scrap metal stream, but I'd rather someone use it if I can. Before this episode's finished, we are going to go through the coins and I'll show you what I found there. And I did clean up the drawer knife and a couple of other bits, so I'll show you those before this episode finishes. But I'll just come around here quickly now to make a bit of a start on moving some stuff, to get some stuff to put in my bins. It's about 34 degrees here today. I'm not used to the heat. It's only the second day of summer, but it's not only quite warm, but it's very humid and we are expecting some storms. The humidity really saps your energy. So yeah, it's a bit of a challenge today, but I had to come around today because our bins go out first thing in the morning. So I better get to it, and I'll get back to you guys shortly with any more treasures I find and also those other things I mentioned. Okay, I brought a couple of things home just to value add. Main reason is our carport is the largest flat area of concrete I've got to use at the moment. This vintage, probably 1960s or 70s, large framed map of London. It's a nice vintage piece. It's a little weathered, but it kind of adds to its appeal. It reminds me of when you used to make a treasure map at school and you'd spill cold tea on it and burn the edges just to make it look older. So this actually does look older. It's masonite and it's a little bit warped, but the frame's intact. It's very dusty, of course, and spiderwebs, but I think that's worth a little bit of a neaten up. And I'm just going to put some beading around the back of the frame to hold the masonite flat. And it's such a large piece, I reckon that will hold pretty good dollars in the shop once it's cleaned up. So yeah, I thought that was worth spending a little bit of time on. And I mentioned in the first part that this old chipboard shelving unit was really of no value, and I didn't want to knock it apart for the bin. The shelves aren't too bad, and it's, even though it's a little bit swollen where it's had moisture, I think it's actually been turned up the other way. I suspect this once was the bottom and there's a bit chipped out at the back there. But I'm going to put a more solid back on it because I've got a big piece of 12mm MDF down there that came out of a shed. It's a little grubby, but it's quite structurally sound. So if I put that on this shelving unit as a back, the shelves will be then quite strong, and it'll be handy in the back of my shop for when I get my stock rooms, my storage rooms sorted out. Shelving's always handy. Alright, that's finished that project. It's nice and stable now. It will hold a fair bit of weight because, as you saw, I put screws through into the backs of the shelves as well. So that will be an excellent addition to my storeroom at the shop. Much better than breaking it up and throwing it out. I don't mind if it's a bit rough. It's only going to be a storeroom. Okay, I'm heading back around to the shed today, but before we go, I'm going to spread some of this padding from that mattress in one of my worm patches, where I've actually got a test going here and there's plenty of worms. So we'll just put a little bit sample of this padding in here. I'll dampen it down just a little bit and we'll check it in a week or two and just make sure the worms are going to eat it. If they are, then I'm probably going to use that entire mattress over the top of that compost bin over there as a doona on top. It'll help hold the moisture in and it'll slowly break down and the worms will eat it. So we'll see how that test goes. And now off to the shed to get another ute load. It's a much nicer day today. It's not as hot or as steamy. I'm just picking up some of the old timber and bits and pieces. Some of it will go home for timber supplies for projects. Some of it will be firewood. There's a bit of scrap metal. There was a stack of extruded aluminium, which is pretty good. It's paying very well at the scrapyard at the moment. There's some garden stakes that Christine will use in the garden. Some more boxes to go through. But there's mainly just a bit of junk and sorting, a bit of scrap metal. Now I've been sweeping up, as you can see, and I've swept down the walls, so I've got one side completely finished there. I do like to leave a job really neat, and I like to sweep the walls down from spiderwebs because it makes the shed look so much better, and I get so much clean-up work because I leave it neat and don't just pick out the treasures and leave all the junk. I'm keeping track of my time, so it's not like I'm that good a guy. I'm not doing it for nothing, but I do like to do a thorough job. Now in this corner I found an old boat anchor, which is pretty cool. Galvanised boat anchor, probably $10, hang it up in the shop. There's a really old tow ball assembly for a trailer. That'd be illegal nowadays because you have to have them. Well, I think everything about that is illegal. They can't be just bolt-on ones. That'll just go in the scrap bins. But back in here, I just thought I'd show you. I've been dragging out some things from in amongst the spider webs. And this one, which I haven't got out yet, and I'm hoping it's all there, this old pair of wire strainers. Now there are Hayes ones, I've had them before. They sell very well. They usually bring around about $100. So this looks complete and okay, but I don't know if the chain part, the other end of it's there. I'm hoping it's under there somewhere. I'm a little bit hesitant to dive my hand straight in, but we'll get a stick and poke around in there. Being in Australia, of course, there's probably half a dozen things in here that can kill you. Just joking, but I have had a few comments from international subscribers that all they know about Australia is it's full of wildlife, it's dangerous. Yes, there are redbacks and various other things that can bite and cause some illness, but generally you're pretty safe. Probably should have gloves on to clean that out, but I'll get a stick and poke around. It doesn't look like the chain's there, unfortunately, but even this part is going to be of some value. So that's pretty cool. All right, I've still got the other side to do. I'll probably take a bit more of that timber, seeing as I'm loading the ute up with some scrap timber. I might throw the bike on, and before I go this morning, I will get the large ladder that they've left for me to use, and I'll get some stuff off the top few shelves so that then if they need the ladder they can take it. I'll be finished with it. Let's climb up the ladder here near these shelves and see what's up the top. I haven't really had a poke up here. There was some fishing gear that I could see. I think it's just cardboard boxes on the top. Oh, fishing gear, right? Look at this massive reel. That's enormous. LV, Australian made. Huge fishing reel. That's got to be of reasonable value. I've never had one that large. We'll do some research on that one. There's some rods here, some nice looking fishing rods. Fairly vintage. That's a more modern reel. The one over the back's nice. And that looks like a complete rod. So that's going to be of pretty good value too. I'm not sure what this is. I'm not a fisherman, but I think that may be a sand pump or something. Something in my mind tells me that, yeah, they pump bait from the beach, perhaps. I may have seen it in a fishing show once, but as I said, I'm not a fisherman. That's stainless steel, but that's going to have better value than scrap for sure. What's down here? I don't even know what that Suzuki thing is. Oh, and these look like speed controls from a boat. Forward, reverse, it looks like something like that. There's a propeller there as well. So a bit of interesting stuff on this shelf. The top shelf is empty, as I said, and there's only cardboard boxes this end, so I'll drop those ones down and I'll cut them up for my recycle bin again for next pickup. So it won't take long to empty these shelves. I'm pretty happy to see the stuff on the fishing shelf there. Looks like there's a stubby of beer, but that's not going to be any good. Not that I drink beer that I found in someone's shed anyway. A little old jack, I think it's a Holden jack, they sell quite well. An oil can. This exercise type apparatus, I'm not sure exactly what it is. I'll probably get that down and put it on Facebook for free, and if not, it can go in the scrap pile, but I'm sure someone will have a use for it. Not sure what this is. It's cast iron. Looks like a flywheel cover from, I don't know, maybe a Wolseley engine. It's quite old. Might be off a cover plate off a milk separator. Not sure. We'll do some checking on that. There's an internal antenna. Not much value there. There's some electrical fittings. A battery charger, 12-volt battery charger. That might be handy. I was going to set up another electrolysis tank at home, so that might be good, because you need to use an old school battery charger for those to work. And I think we've seen the rest of it from ground level. Alright, I'll get this fishing gear down. I'll get these cardboard boxes down. And I think that might nearly do me for today. I've swept the shed past the halfway mark, so it's nice that one half's completely finished. And then if the family need to move some furniture in, they can access that side now. And I've got a length of a lot of fairly long timber here that won't fit in the ute, so I might have to bring the van for that. Alright, that'll about do for now. We'll show you the other tools I got last time at home cleaned up, and we'll go through the coins before we finish this video up. Here's a quick look at this big map of London. It cleaned up really well. I just sanded the frame back, and I just gave it a couple of coats of Danish oil. Really brought it up nicely. And if you can see the beading I did around the back, I just basically screwed a little strip of timber around the inside. It holds the masonite nice and flat. So a little bit of work, a lot of value adding. I'll put that out the front of the shop today, and I might try $75, and I'll try and find somewhere in the shop to hang it if it doesn't sell. Okay, let's wind this video up with a quick look at the coins and a couple of the tools I did clean up. The folding wire cutters turned out to be 1943 Department of Defence Sunshine made World War II folding wire cutters. So excellent. I did a video on cleaning up a pair of these recently, well, quite a while back actually. I'll put a link up the top, and I remember being disappointed that they weren't marked, because they nearly all are, and this one shows that most of them are at least. The other ones still sold very well. These ones will probably get about $60 or $70. We'll do a top 10 at the end of this video, and with some prices at the end of this series anyway, not this video. The draw knife cleaned up brilliantly. It's actually got nice brass caps on the handles. That one's going to be around about $75 as well. Now, the only other thing other than the coins is I haven't been able to identify this cast iron cover as yet. I thought it might have been Wolseley, but I did look online, and Wolseley don't kind of use that W. I'm thinking now it may be a cover off a old bench grinder. So I'm not sure. If you recognise that W, let me know in the comments. Not that it's really going to make much difference to the value, but I'd like to know who made it. And it's just a cast iron piece off something, obviously, and it's not going to hold a lot of value. Now, one other quick thing before we get to the coins. I didn't think much of this when I first found it, but it turns out that vintage cricket bats actually sell very well. Now, unfortunately, the stickers are peeling off it, but the bat itself is in good order. So I'm going to throw this on eBay, and it might make the top 10. We'll see in another episode of this series once we get a result. Now, quickly with the coins, loved going through these. There wasn't any key dates. There was no coins that are worth anything really more than novelties. We got quite a pile of normal pennies, all very common dates. I sell these in the shop just for $1 each. People like to buy them for what year they were born. A couple of halfpennies or halfpennies. There is 68, 70 all up there. If I get $1 each, there's $70. So this tin lot's going to add up to quite a lot. There was a handful of 2-cent coins which are no longer in circulation in Australia, but they're still actually worth 2 cents, I believe. And there's some 5-cent coins which are still in circulation. So that's what, 60, about a dollar all up there. There was a fair handful of old pennies that are badly corroded and badly worn, and some of them had holes through them. They're just going in the scrap copper bin. No real value there. A really old medallion. I did do some research. They're not rare. I think this one's sterling silver, but this one's so worn that it's only going to be scrap value. The lug's broken off the top. No dates on it, but we'll put that in the silver pile. A couple of foreign coins. Hong Kong 1926 1-cent piece. I think that was a Fijian 2-cent piece. An English penny from, what date was that? Can we read it? Looks like 1965. It's not overly that old then. And a new pence. I think that's still current money in the UK. I'm not too sure. I've never been there. So they'll just go into random foreign coins, maybe $1 each. They probably won't even get that. Now the silver. All these shillings, there's 10, 20, 30, 40, there's 60 of them. We'll do some calculations on a website that I use online. I'll show you that shortly. They are all 50% silver, and after 1946. Likewise with these sixpences, there's a whole heap of the sixpences, and the ones after 1946 are only 50% silver. The ones at the front here, they're sixpences that are pre-46, so they're actually sterling silver. And likewise with the threepences, 50% silver there, 92.5% silver there. So we'll quickly duck on the website and see what value we've got in our silver coins. So here's a website I like to use to work out the value of coins, just as a bit of a guide. It's coinapps.com, and they have, here's the Australian silver coin melt value calculator, which basically just calculates the scrap value of Australian coins. There are categories for other countries too, as you can see there. Canada, US. Now, so what we need to do is basically we just type in the number we've got. We do need to adjust to Australian dollars for our currency here. And we can basically just type in what quantities. So we had 3 pence or threepence, and these are the earlier ones, 1910 to 1944, so they're sterling silver. We had only 4 of those, and you can see it calculates as we go, which is quite interesting. And I guess it's linked to the current silver scrap price, so it should be reasonably accurate. Now the later threepences, 50% silver, we had 8 of those, so I think we'll just click in here and go 8. And then the sixpences, and you can watch the total go up as I type these in. The sixpences, we had the earlier ones, we only had 8 of those, and we had stacks of the later ones which are only 50% silver. We had 153. Look at our value go up now. The shillings, we had quite a number of shillings. They were all the later ones. We had 60 of those. So that's all our silver coins, and have a look at what that added up to. $418. So I'm not sure if I was to throw these on eBay, whether I would get that exact amount. This figure may be allowing for a dealer premium, or there might be fees to sell them. Well, certainly there would be if you sell them through some sort of coin dealer or official scrap dealer. Anyway, it just gives me a guide. I'm not going to sell these. These will be stashed away. I'm a bit of a stacker with some of these things. I figure it's sort of, future superannuation or whatever you want to call it. And if the price of silver keeps going up, well, so does my nest egg. So there we go, $418 of silver. We'll add that to the other costs we got. So we'll just jot these down here. Our silver coins, 418. Now we had a big stack of pennies, which I've already put in the shop today. I haven't sold any as yet, but if we sell them all, we're looking at about $70 there. And then we had some scrap copper, a little bit of scrap silver, and various other bits, some foreign coins, change and everything. And foreign coins, the change 2-cent pieces and that sort of stuff. Really, it probably added up to around about $5 all up. So we then have $493. So almost $500 from that little tin full of coins. Pretty awesome. That's clearly going to be number one in the top 10 unless I find an amazing treasure. The tin itself is just here. I've put all those silver coins in to take home to put in my stash, in my safe. Pascal's tin, we'll probably get $10 for that as well. So that'll do for this video. We will get back to the shed first thing in the morning. I'll be starting to film part 3. It might be the last part. I don't want this series to go on too long, but we will be discussing the final figures and a top 10, and to see if Lynn's actually going to get a bit of a surprise and get some money at the end of it, other than what she thought was a bit of work taking it to the tip and some costs. So thanks for watching. Look out for me in the next part. See you soon. Bye.